Do you think there's going to be an altcoin season?
Yes, I think so. I have a good idea when it can happen. And then there's usually a cycle where Bitcoin goes up, then that ripples over to the top 10, ripples over to the smaller coins, etc. I believe there's a lot of things that can happen in AI, real world assets, this decentralized infrastructure or DePIN. Look at where the trends are going and look at where the money is flowing as well. 11 months of a year, you would see nothing happening on the chart. 1 month, poof. So what's probably going to happen is I'm definitely going to have specific targets like round numbers. When Bitcoin hits them, I'm going to sell. But what I'm going to look for is...
Dennis, when is altcoin season? We've been waiting. And all that's going up is Bitcoin.
Well, I do think I have a good idea when it can happen.
Okay, tell me the date.
Well, that's, I don't know. I think in Q3 or Q4 this year. Does that help? But I think there's two pieces to this. Number one, I think it has to do when they make a final decision on the interest rates, when they go down. And the second component is when they launch the ETFs. In July...
What ETFs?
ETFs on Solana,
okay,
XRP, Chainlink, and Avalanche, and probably a few more.
So what I don't like about that is that so you're not talking about the 4-year cycle. You are talking about certain events that are out of our control, whereas this is going to happen, the 4-year cycle, and the fact that there's less and less Bitcoin out there as businesses and countries are buying it. But you're saying, really, well, it's when they lower interest rates. What if they don't?
Yeah, well, then I think it might be other triggers, but I think those could be two triggers. But I think the ETFs might be the triggers as well. But no, I do think that that goes with the 4-year cycle in a way. So, yeah, we'll see. It seems like the 4-year cycle's been a bit postponed. But no, it should happen. Like every 4 years. That was so cool with cryptos.
What do you mean the 4-year cycle has been... What do you mean? It happened. Like they halved. I think it was May of last year.
Yeah. Well, yes, but the having of the 4-year cycle effect, we can call it, which triggers Bitcoin to go up, and then there's usually a cycle where Bitcoin goes up, then that ripples over to the top 10, ripples over to the smaller coins, etc.
So, do you think there's going to be an altcoin season?
Yes, I think so.
And when you say altcoin season, should we just get there's 21 million coins? Should we just get to the lowest one?
Yeah.
The lowest shitcoin and just get in there like 0.00001 cent and just buy a whole load and boom, we'll all be multi-billionaires.
Yeah, if we're the great plan. No, I think we need to go with the utility and where the money might be going and flowing. So, for example, I believe there's a lot of things that can happen in AI, real world assets, this decentralized infrastructure or DePIN. I think now with Trump being in US, they're putting a lot of regulation in place. I mean, Trump is even launching his own ETF, right? And they're also approving a lot with DeFi. So DeFi, I think, could be really good. Mm-hmm. And they're buying a lot of Ethereum, as an example. So I think look at where the trends are going and look at where the money is flowing as well. And
so do what they are doing, not what they're saying.
Yeah,
right?
kind of. What do you think?
I think there will be an altcoin season. I just don't know how big it's going to be. You could argue that this could be the biggest altcoin season and more because the buying pressure that is coming in from businesses that are looking to build up their treasury. So instead of leaving money in the bank, what they're doing is they're actually buying into Bitcoin. Then, I mean, not that many are doing Ethereum, but now some are doing Solana. The latest is that some are even doing BNB, so Binance Coin. And even, I think there was another one, was it Chainlink or something? And I was like, wow. So people are, and that's the whole idea of the altcoin season, right? So when everybody's got enough money into Bitcoin, then they go, what's next? Is it Ethereum? Is it Solana? Is it XRP? Is it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's more components to it. Like, for example, if everyone thinks the economy is doing well, the market is going up, right, people invest into more risky stuff as well. So, and that's where the interest rates comes in, etc. But it seems like we're heading that way. So, yeah, I'm really positive it could happen. And what I think is so interesting is there's a lot of mindset as well. I looked at the chart of, for example, XRP. So, if you look at the XRP chart, you get these massive candles. Like, we're talking about 1 month every year where you get maybe 200-300% gains. So you would be 11 months of a year, you would see nothing happening on the chart. 1 month, poof. So what's probably going to happen is everyone is losing faith. No one believes it's going to happen. All of a sudden
that's when it goes up.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have 4 weeks of it just poof goes up a lot, right? And then people missed the major moves that would have made them a lot of money.
But how do you know when to get out? Like, so are you, for 2 questions. One, when, let's say the altcoin season starts, are you still in Bitcoin? Are you still going to stay there?
Yeah, I'm still going to stay in Bitcoin for sure. So Bitcoin usually goes up, but just not as much.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, I'm going to take profits for sure. So it might be, yeah, who knows when, right? But I'm definitely going to feather out as we talk about. I'm definitely going to have specific targets, like round numbers when Bitcoin hits them. I'm going to sell like 120, 150,000.
But feather, you're not going to...
No, feather, exactly. But as we get closer, when we get these parabolic moves and everyone gets very, very bullish, I will definitely exit most of my smaller cryptos.
Now, you're saying that because you have been in at least 2 of these parabolic moves and bear markets. You've been doing this for how long? 8 years now?
Yeah, since 2016.
Yeah. So you've been in there for a long time, and therefore you have seen this in action. It's not like you're just somebody who's talking, who says, "Well, I think this is what's going to happen."
Yeah.
This is actually based on your experience.
Yeah, and then if I get that wrong, what I'm going to look for is for the if we talk about technical analysis, usually the chart, it does higher highs and higher lows, and there are certain patterns you can look out for. Head and shoulders, where it creates a top and then a higher top, but then a lower top, and then it breaks lower.
Yeah, that's when you're out?
Yeah, and then that's where you could sell, exactly, as an example. I'm definitely getting out on most of the coins this season.
We will see. We will see.
What is your plan?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly the same, right? Obviously, because that's what we do and that's what we teach. But for me, I have just because of what's happening and the buying pressure of Bitcoin, first and foremost. I mean, there's immense buying, right? And that is why it's still in charge. There is no altcoin season because everybody's getting into that. I think that's going to continue for quite a while. But then when I see it go, and I don't want to mention any figures, but some people are saying, 200,000 per Bitcoin. I mean, maybe, but I'm going to be out before then. I am going to be out.
Sell all of the Bitcoin?
Not all, but I am definitely going to sell quite a few.
You're going to listen to your partner?
Yeah. My partner? Yes. Yes,
okay,
I will.
Good.
My business partner twice has told me to get out at the height of the market. Knows nothing about investing, but she goes, get out. And she was right both times. So yes, definitely going to listen to her more, he says. And then when altcoin season starts, I'm going to get rid of all the shit coins that I've got over the years. I mean, I'm at 262 odd positions, and I really need to get out of a lot of those. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. Really time to tidy up and then be in maximum 10 coins.
Yeah, and I think where people might miss, I'm not sure, they're watching this now, but obviously you and me, we have a lot of coins that gone to zero, right? We lost all of the investments in those because that's part of the game. But we have a lot of them that's gone up a lot as well that covers for that as well. So it's just about keep learning, keep growing, keep learning all the time, and then you'll get there eventually. But to have a strategy for it as well.
All right, altcoin season, when is it going to happen?
I think in Q3 this year. If I would just take a random guess, I think it's going to start around September time.
Really? So early?
Yeah.
I think it's going to start a lot later.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised. I'm usually right.
True. We will see. So, Dennis, when talking about altcoin season, this phenomenon where not Bitcoin and maybe not some of the larger ones, but some of the others really start roaring up. If somebody's totally new, though, do they get into like Bitcoin now or some of the bigger ones? Which altcoins, what do they get into?
Well, it's a great question, and
thank you.
And I believe that it's yes, there is one part, of course. Yes, you can just get into the big one like Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe some other ones as well. But I wouldn't. What I would do is learn how to do this because I made that mistake when I started out. I got into things, but I had no plan on when to sell and when to exit.
So what are you saying? They should get into Bitcoin or they should go into the altcoins now?
Well, I would get education. I would learn what to do first and then do it. It's not like I'm choosing the car first. I'm learning how to drive first and then I'm choosing the car.
Okay.
So I would do it that way. So sure, they can get into both Bitcoin and altcoins, but the key thing is to know what to do. You and me, we could make hundreds of % of altcoins while others could lose buying the exact same asset, which happens all the time.
That's very true.
So what I would say is, they don't need to educate themselves with us, of course. They could join our free one-day event or, a few hours with us to see what they can do. Because obviously you do tell them, or we do tell them, where they could start and where they can learn this.
And the strategies.
And even strategies. So I would just spend a few hours learning the basics there, and then they can start. For free they can start. And then, then they would be equipped to start buying Bitcoin and, altcoins as well. Because you even tell them how much money that you would put into the bigger ones and the smaller ones as well. But, learn how to drive first. for me, when I talk to people and they say, yeah, I've made, hundreds, I'm putting all my money in this, I just know they're going to lose all their money eventually. Because that's what the market does. Buying the dip will work until it doesn't. And that day will come. And then they need to know what to do. I've been there. And learn what to do.